Okay. Yeah. Well, time flies then, because I didn't realize that we are so close to the midterm already. This is week 3, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. Then I think the quests don't freeze until week 5, if I'm not mistaken. Is it?
Okay.
What does it say in the syllabus? I mean, I've forgotten. What does it say?
Let me double check real quick.
I think I'm pretty sure that it's I think it's a Sunday before the midterm, if I'm not mistaken. I try to time these things so that it's a Sunday before the midterm and a Sunday before the final. And there's 2 free states. Meanwhile, while Susanna is looking for that information, pulling up the syllabus, try to, before we actually start coding, today, try to think up problems or questions you may have. Anything we've discussed so far. Even if it's data representation, we don't, and we end up we're not going to spend a great deal of time talking about data representation anymore, hopefully. But I think that at least even if you have a fundamental question to do with data representation, we can collectively, or I can point you at where to look for the answer, right? So that you can find the solution. So you should know.
When is the midterm? What day is the midterm?
The midterm. So all my exams are on Thursdays. Okay. So my exams are all on Thursdays, midterm and final. So it'll be the Thursday of week 6 and the Thursday of week 12. Your 2 exams.
So the quests actually freeze on February 11th.
It says that you plan to freeze 1 through 4 next week.
Wow, I'm really surprised I say that. Let me take a look.
Week
because
5, you said that it would be review and midterm.
I'm gonna try and find it. Okay, this is CS2A. Let me find the syllabus here. I'll just pick up the syllabus from Reddit. Let me see, Reddit, syllabus posted. It must say somewhere, it must be syllabus posted. Correction for syllabus. Okay, winter 2021 syllabus, CS2A. Wow, if that's the case, then there is a typo in the syllabus. I've got to go and fix it, Susanna. Let me take a look. Okay, so week 4. It says, oh, damn. Okay, all right. Yeah, I think I know what the problem is. Now the week numbering starts at 0 for some reason. and so, it says week 4. Yeah,
that's a data representation thing.
We're C++ programmers. Our weeks start at 0, not at 1. Okay, I got to go and fix this. I got to fix this in the syllabus. Is this a graphic? Is this a...
So was correct. When do the quests freeze? What week?
It freezes the week before the midterm. So if the midterm is on week 6, is in week 6.
Week
Wow.
6 as in, from starting from 0 or starting from 1?
Actually, if you go to Canvas, you'll see the exact date. Forget about week number. You'll see the exact date of the exams in Canvas. So let's take a look. Assignments, and at the bottom, midterm exam not available until February 11. Now, Feb 11, is that week 5 or week 5 or 6?
Week 6, I think.
Okay, yeah. All right. So the midterm is in week 6, and
yeah.
So I'll need to fix it. I'll fix it later today. Okay, after class today, I'll go and fix the syllabus. So thank you, Susanna, for bringing that up. I don't think people will, people would have thought, oh, this is C++. So week 0 was actually week 1. So that is so crazy. I don't know why I did that. Oh, I think I know why. Because in previous quarters, I had data representation was not part of the actual course. But data representation was essential anyway. So I said, before you enroll in 2A, you need to be familiar with this. So that's why it's week 0. And week 1, we start programming. And then we tried that. I think I tried that for 3 or 4 quarters, saying that anyone who enrolls in my 2A needs to already know data representation in week 0. So week 1, we just take that knowledge for granted. And then I failed miserably because nobody, I think one person, maybe 1 or 2 people in the entire class would have read through the module 0 and know about data representation before they come into class. And then what happened was a lot of the programming discussions got slowed down unnecessarily, because every time we're talking about, rollover because of two's complement, or signed, unsigned, and things like that, size T, we have to digress to talk about data representation issues. Yeah. So and then I decided, we actually have enough time in CS2A, because in the previous quarters I found that the last week we actually had time to talk about random stuff, covering all of the material before that. And so I figured, might as well talk about data representation in week 1. Then we would actually wrap up in week 12, all the material that we had. And I think that actually worked last quarter. Last quarter, if you go and look at all the YouTube recordings that we have, you'll see that we started with data representation, and then we went all the way through and ended with pointers. And I believe that a lot of other CS2A sections, maybe not at Foothill, maybe at other colleges, don't take you to linked lists and pointers, right? I mean, they teach you C++, but in CS2A, you're not expected to be able to manage linked lists or pointers, which I think is really, really strange. And I don't think that should be the case. If you are programming in C++, even if you're starting out, you need to know about pointers and have the basic ability to manipulate pointers. And that's why, your linked list quest is, in fact, the last quest of CS2A. And in fact, it is the first quest of CS2B also. I believe that some quarters ago, not in the recent quarters, I had some students complain, saying, students that did CS2A, I think, they said, hey, this is totally not fair. We're being asked about linked lists, and that really is not. And also people who did CS2B were complaining, saying that, hey, how could your very first quest be about linked lists? At that time, they were all labs, right? How could your very first lab be about linked lists? Because, we never learned about linked lists in CS2A. But it is in the CID, the course, the descriptor released by the government, the state government releases a CID. And in the CID, you see that instructors are in fact expected to teach students about pointers and linked lists in CS2A. And unfortunately, I think maybe some instructors are skipping it. Probably not because of, it's not their own, I don't think they want to skip it, but I think students are somehow enjoying a certain degree of luxury not luxury really, missing out because they are slower, or they think there's, a lot more time, and they don't manage to make it up to linked lists. You have to make it up to linked lists, okay? Because if you don't reach linked lists by the end of this quarter, I can guarantee that you will have a very, very difficult time in CS2B. That's assuming that you want to go on to CS2B. Right?
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, totally.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
So for this week, are we supposed to be on Quest 2 or Quest 3? I'm not entirely sure how.
Week 3, right? This is week 3?
Week 3, yes.
Yeah, week 3, the end of week 3, you should be done with Quest 3. Or, at least close to being done with Quest 3.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's a total of 9 quests, and you have 12 weeks to finish them, yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's how I would look at it if I were a student, right? So maybe it doesn't map onto the way that you're going to do it, but hopefully this isn't it's in the recording. So hopefully people will see this and compare and plan, right, according to your own. But this schedule might work for me. So this is the way I think about it. So I have 9 quests to complete, and I have 12 weeks. And off the 12 weeks, I know that the first few quests are going to be really, really easy, okay? And so strictly speaking, you only have 7 quests to complete in 11 weeks. Because if you think about it, the first 2 quests, you can get done in a week. In the first week, you're done, right? And which is also a problem in some cases, because some people will just do the first 2 quests and think, oh yeah, well, it just took me a week to finish these really 2 easy quests. So CS2A is going to be like that. And so I can take it easy. But then they come back after a little while, thinking that, you know, every other quest is going to be as easy as the first 2 quests, and they get a rude awakening, right? Because, you know, quest number 4 onwards, things start picking up, and they find that they actually need more than a week for quest number 4 or 5, and then unfortunately, by the time that awakening dawns, they're pretty much screwed, right? So their only options are to drop and re-enroll next class or take a low grade, which they may not be happy with. And so the way I think about it is I have, well, let's say average out, right? So 9 quests, 12 weeks. I need 1 week to prepare for the final exam, because there's also going to be stuff that, you know, and I probably need 1 week to prepare for the midterm when I'm not thinking about quests, right? So I have 10 weeks for 9 quests, which means I have 1 week extra as a buffer. If I do 1 quest per week, right? 1 quest per week, I get, you know, 1 week of a buffer that I can spread it around. And obviously 1 per week is just the average, because the first couple of weeks, for the first couple of quests, I can tell you it, you know, shouldn't take you more than a week, really, if you sit down to it. I'm pretty sure that lots of people will say, you know, I'll do a little bit and come back and a little bit, but in the first couple of quests, it doesn't really help to say I'm going to do some and come back. In the later quest, right? In when you get to, you know, quest number 7, and you're implementing things like binary search, right? So algorithms, you're implementing algorithms. That's when it helps. That's when it helps to take a break, right? So and often you'll hear me say that, right? In later lectures. And also on Reddit, I say, when you get stuck, take a break, you know, go for a walk, come back, you know, and do it. And that is not for the first few quests, okay? The first few quests, you should not take a break, because you're not struggling with algorithms or things that you need to be working on in your subconscious, right? In the first few quests, there's nothing you need to work on in your subconscious. It's basically just following instructions and making sure things work. You know, is my compiler set up properly? Is my, you know, code, the syntax errors? You're not going to solve a syntax error while walking, you know, or taking a walk. You know, you're not going to solve a syntax error sitting on a park bench. Yes? Right? You'll start an algorithm, you'll solve algorithmic errors if you're sitting on a park bench, right? And get ideas, but you're not going to solve something, you're missing semicolon. How can you find a, you know, missing semicolon or some no. So those things need to be tackled as and when you, so if you have compiler errors in your code with, you know, reading there, not reading from me, reading from the compiler, saying, oh, that doesn't compile, this doesn't compile. Those are not things to say, okay, well, you know, I've done my bit, I'm going to come back and do it. No, it's not. When you come back, you'll be exactly the same place. The whole idea about taking a break is that when you take a break and you come back, you're not exactly where you went, right? So you took off here, and then when you came back, you're not here because your mind has been working and you're, you know, slightly ahead. It will not be the case. That's your test, right? And maybe use that as an empirical test, right? It's an empirical test. So if you want to take a break from anything, not even programming, right? Any problem in life, you want to take a break. After a break, if you come back and you find yourself in the same place, right? The same place, then the break hasn't helped. The break was basically just an escape, right? It's just like, you know, alcohol, right? Many people use alcohol as an escape, right? You know, and the way to tell if it's an escape or it actually helped you in making progress is to examine you know, well, I'm going to take a break and booze up or something like that, and then come back, right? I'm going to take a break and, you know, think about this problem and come back. Now, after you come back, compare your mental state or compare where you are at this problem to before you took a break. Now, if your break was a productive break, right? Productive breaks, I totally encourage you to take, right? Anytime you're stuck, Take a productive break. But if you're going to take a break and it's going to be unproductive, you should not take it. Many times you take a break and say, I'm going to come back and look at this problem. When you come back, you're not even ahead, you're actually behind, because what happened was you actually forgot a little bit of the context. And you have to build up the context and then work from there. So that is an unproductive break. It's not even an unproductive break, it's a counterproductive break, because it not only didn't advance you, it actually took you back. So and so that's again, is a great chance for you to examine things by yourself, right? So maybe there's a rule, maybe I made a rule, or someone, or someone a rule saying you have to take a break every now and then, or you're going to get burnt out, right? So maybe a rule, good rule that you follow, but it does not work all the time. So if you follow a rule blindly, you'll find that it doesn't work all the time. Right? And then you'll end up following it even when it doesn't work, because it is a rule that you have to follow. On the other hand, if you tell yourself, I have a lot of rules, it's fantastic because I don't have to think through many of these things. People have faced these problems and solved these and come up with these calculi, right? It's the rules or calculuses, right? Calculi. I'm going to follow that and it works and works. But you also check, right? When you do it, you also check. So, did it actually work? Was it a benefit? And then when you do that, then you get into the mindset of sharpening your own truth-checking apparatus, right? Everybody's born with that truth-checking apparatus. This is a bullshit meter. I call it a bullshit meter, right? So you can fine-tune your bullshit meter and say, well, every time you come across a situation in your life, you can find out, right? You appeal to that. But if you never actually sharpened it as a kid, well, you're going to be beholden to other people to tell you what the truth is, all for the rest of your life. So sharpen it when you have a chance, then you can cut things on your own in future. Okay. All right. So are we all here now? So what am I looking at? I'm not even looking at the Zoom window here.
Professor Ann, just to be clear, is the due date for 1 through 4 quests on the 31st or February 7th?
Hey, it'll be 7th. Is February 7th a Sunday? Yeah, I think so.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so it will be the morning of the 8th, really, when I wake up. When I wake up on the Monday, I will transfer this course. I'll correct that in the in the syllabus and send out an announcement also in Canvas, so you don't have to worry.
Speaking of, I remember you mentioned this before, but what's the comments policy on the quests? Does everything need to be thoroughly commented, or can you be more loose?
No, you have to comment your code enough to save yourself when you come back to it in 5 years' time. Okay, so I'm not going to be looking for comments or correctness is what is most important.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And also, if you go overboard with comments, sometimes you'll find that when you have to relook at your old program, it'll look much bigger than it actually is. So you'll eventually find out the sweet spot for commenting. Is that okay? What else?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. Great, thank you, Nate, for asking that question. So are there any other questions you have, doubts about concepts we've discussed before? And I can clarify those, or someone else can clarify those. If not, I would like for someone to just pick up the screen. And ideally, someone who has not been up here on screen before, or someone who hasn't, one of the quieter people, right? One of the quieter people who haven't had a chance should really take the screen, and we'll walk you through it, right? So the goal of this exercise, when you pick up the screen, is not for you to code. The whole idea behind you picking up the screen is not to teach you C++, but to ease you in, to get you comfortable, right? Get you comfortable with two things. First of all, just being out there. Just saying that, hey, folks, I'm out here. Look at me. I'm coding, right? So that takes a great deal of courage for lots of people. Yeah, it takes a lot of courage just to be out there. You go out there and find a stranger and you want to go and talk to them. Most people have, shyness or something that holds them back. But how do you overcome that? You have to do that step by step, small step by step, in guarded environments first, when you feel safe, right? And this is one of those environments when I'm here, everybody else, right? Everybody other than you, right, has a little bit of trepidation, right? It's just a little fear to go up there, and everybody's always thinking, oh, there's 35 people in class, and there's 34 pairs of eyes looking at me. So if I say something really stupid, I'm going to look 35 times more stupid than I actually was, right? And that is a stupid thing to think, really, because everybody else is in the same shoes as you are. I was in the same shoes as you were when I started programming. And I think the idea really is that you just put yourself out there. Who's going to care, right? Who's going to care? Don't worry about it. And don't worry about what other people are going to think. And that's I've been thinking. I think that is the only possible reason I can come up with why more of you are not volunteering to take the screen, because it's such a unique and fantastic opportunity, right? 10 years from now, you're going to be thinking, what a fantastic opportunity I had, and I just let it slip through my fingers, right? You have this incredible opportunity where you can come up amongst a group of friends, including me, right? Who have all been in the same situation as you, and many of them are in the same boat as you are right now. What better opportunity can you have to just take the stage and talk, right? So you're among friends. So I want someone who's feeling shy, ideally someone who's feeling shy, okay? To take the screen, take the screen. Yeah, we can go over branching, Susanna, absolutely. But we haven't covered branching yet. So we'll see how it goes. We'll play it by ear, and if we get a chance, we'll just introduce branching slightly and then pick up more speed next week on branching. Because in my mind, I had penciled branching in for branching and looping for next week, and we can do it today. Not a big deal. But we'll go according to your speed. The first 3 weeks, really, I can't go according to the speed of the fastest student, or according to my speed, or I can't do that, right? Because if I do that, then the rest of the journey is just me and a few other people hanging on. Most of you would have fallen off the train, right? So the first 3 weeks, at least, until the time when students can drop the class, right? So when can you drop? When's the last date to drop the class? I think it was. Today is a census date, right? So today's a census date. So I have to tell the government today how many students are officially enrolled, right? And we have really healthy enrollment, right? Really healthy enrollment in CS2A, which is fantastic. But I think next week is the last. You get the last date to drop the class. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, right? So next week, and then week 4 is when the class starts picking up speed. When you're irretrievably locked into CS2A, you can't jump off the train anymore, right? Yeah. So if you jump off the train, it's sure, you can't. You have to stick on. Yeah. No need to be sorry, Susanna. Yeah, absolutely. I'm also eager. I'm as eager as you are, I'm pretty sure, to go over branching and looping. Just don't want to scare students off. All right. So someone else take the screen, and then maybe we can work through some more expressions.
I can take the screen.
Yeah, sure. Who is this? Nathan. Yeah. Go for it. All right. And take the screen. And how about today, we start with a simple program which needs to calculate a quantity and print it out. And open up, take the screen, open up an editor. Actually, let's not even go to an editor even today, right? So let's just go to one of the online things, cpp.sh or onlinegdb.com or one of those. Okay.
Mac OS wants me to quit and reopen to assign the permissions to share my screen. So I'll be back in
why
a
is
second.
That?
I don't know. Mac security is really weird. It's very different.
Hang on. What are you trying to do? You're
share my screen
on Zoom.
On Zoom, yeah. It says Zoom US will not be able to record the contents of your screen until it is quit.
Well, you don't have to record it though.
But isn't that what sharing a screen is?
No. Sharing screen is not recording. The recording is happening at my end. I think you click share screen and then simply share your desktop or something like that.
I did, and that's the message that I got.
Wow. Oh, that's a bummer. In fact, there is a way in which we can do this. Even if you're not able to share, you can still participate. Is if someone else who's able to share goes to share their screen or
I
the
can just leave and rejoin, and it'll probably work.
Okay, all right. Why don't you do that? Yeah, Nathan. I believe it's possible that if someone else shares a collaborative environment, like a collaborated.com, and then Nathan goes to edit the file, and we're looking at that file, we'll still be able to see Nathan's edits in the file. It'll be like he's in a Zoom call with us, even though he's editing the file and he's not. So yeah, the wonders of modern technology will get us all that. All right, so while Nathan is coming up with his share screen, you guys can think up other interesting things that you want to program today. So what I'm thinking of is we'll do some simple calculations in a separate function now, right? We want to do a separate function and then call that function from main. So you also get an idea of what happens, so a function is being called. We'll get into the nitty-gritty details of what a function is and what happens when a function is called, right? What happens under the covers when the function is called. 90%, many programmers who actually program don't even know the details of how a function, what happens under the covers when a function is called, the stacks, and they don't know, right? So we can go into the detail of all of that at the right time. I think it's week 6 maybe, week 6 or week 7. I'll go into the details. But for now, we'll use functions, even though we don't know all the details of how the function works internally. Let's use functions, because what I find is that when we later on start talking about functions, it will make a lot more sense if you've actually used them, right? Used functions without knowing what they are, and then learn about what functions are. Let's try that experiment this time. I think it worked last time, right? You'll find that you understand functions better if you've used them already and then try to understand them, rather than 5 quarters ago. This is what I used to do, right? No functions at all until week 6. And then in week 6, I talk about functions, and then we implement our first function. Yeah, I don't know. You can tell me if that's a better strategy, but I think I found that doesn't work as well because, I think it's better for people to use something, find the utility of that, and then learn how it does its job, right? Because you don't want to learn how something that's totally useless works, right? You want to know only how useful things work. So it's better to introduce the use of it first, and then how it works. Okay, hey, Nathan, you're back. Can you take the screen?
Let me see. Yes, I can.
Great, thank you. Fantastic. All right.
I got a new Mac, so my CS2A folder is clear. But
yeah, and I think your new Mac also is a very high resolution, right? So
yes.
Yeah, you may have to hit a Command plus a couple of times. Command plus.
Okay.
One more. I can read week 3. No, it's okay. It's a little too big, but I think I can read it. That's fine. Cool. Maybe there's other people. Okay. So Nathan, when you were away, this is what we're talking about. So we want to implement a simple function. We want to implement a program just like last class, a main method, right? Which is going to print out the value of some expression you're going to calculate, but we'll do this expression calculation in a separate function. We'll define another function, and then in main, we'll call that function, right? And then I get the return value and print it. How's that? Does that make sense? Is that a good idea for you guys?
Yeah, that sounds great, actually.
Okay, all right. Who else? There's only one person who said, yeah, so I'm looking at the chat window now, right? So if you guys are okay with that, and also consider this your attendance call, right? So if you guys are okay with that and think that you'd like to do that, just say yes, that sounds like a good idea. Or if you have a different idea, just type that in, right? And then we can look at the other idea also. Now is the time when I get to know how many of you are actually listening and how many of you have switched on Zoom and taken off.
The only thing
Mhm.
I would want to look at is formatting in a string. I don't think I fully grasp.
Formatting a string.
Yeah, or formatting our output.
Yeah. We can go over that today.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I'll show you how to do that when we get to doing output here. But I won't go into the details of that for two reasons. Mainly because the details of how to format is actually very, very easy. Once you look up the documentation and I show you what to look for and how to read it, it's very, very straightforward. You can do everything pretty quickly. And the other reason is because formatting is really not you'll find eventually is not core to C++ per se, right? So but I'll show you. All right. All right. So we have a few people, and then all right. So is that it? That's it. Only 5 people here who are actually listening. Or are you guys even shy to type into the chat window, right? So I know people are shy to speak up. There's 3 levels of shyness, right? The first level of shyness is having your face on the screen, right? Sharing your camera, okay? The second level of shyness is having your voice, right? Speaking up, even that, some people are shy. The third level of shyness is typing into the chat window, right? Even that, some people are shy. And the fourth level of shyness is basically not even logging into Zoom, right? Is asking your friend, hey, what happened in class yesterday, right? Can you explain? Right. So so the higher up you are, the better, the more successful you will be, right? So if you're not shy at all, then you'll have. And let me repeat this. I said last time, and it's on YouTube, where you can find out where I said it on YouTube in a previous quarter, and make a note. If you don't try at all, you are guaranteed to fail. Okay, that's a guarantee. 100% success. 100% sure to fail. If you don't try at all, you're sure to fail. If you try, you have a chance of succeeding. Okay, you only have a chance of failing, right? You have a chance of succeeding if you try. Maybe it's a slim chance, 0.1% you'll succeed, right? But if you don't try, you don't even have the 0.1%. You're guaranteed to fail. Okay, so that's something that we should all keep in mind. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and it looks like everybody is on board. Nathan, why don't you go ahead and create a main method, just like we did before, right? So all of you, right? So and by the way, yeah, hang on, I'm just reading the +9 as a DG. Hey, Tom, how did you discover Quest 9? Did you get the password for Quest 9 already?
Is this probably just a guess?
Okay, all right, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Even if you got the password, I'm not complaining, but yeah, it is.
I found the Reddit before class and was able to discover the syllabus and the password for Quest 1.
Quest 9. Are you talking about Quest 1 or Quest 9?
Oh no, so in December, I found the Quest 1 password. So that's how I know about the Quest 9 password.
Oh, you're saying you've worked through all the quests. You're at Quest 9 now.
Yes, but it's definitely more challenging than probably all of the other quests.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's what I was passing on. I went through them very quickly. I'm still going back and fixing things from previous quests and stuff like that. But I love questing. It's very fun.
Thank you. Totally understand. And by the way,
you must know a lot.
Sorry?
I'm talking to him. The one who said I got to Quest 9.
Well, I mean,
I started it. I started before class, and I also have done. So I work as a data scientist, and just so people aren't like weirded out, I work as a data scientist, and I've done some C++ stuff before, but I have never taken a formal computer science class before.
Wow.
So I wanted to get a good foundation basis.
That's very impressive on what you did. You were able to blaze through all of them.
Yeah, but I think what Tom is saying, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, is that even if you start now, Tom's saying that you can still, as long as you're not putting it off. I think he's saying just don't put it off.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm working on at least some of it every day.
Great.
Yeah. I was just trying to pass on that the. Oh, I was just going to try to pass on that agree with the professor that the earlier quests are a bit easier, and so they progress as they get later on type thing. So if you have the ability to get a little bit ahead of the schedule, it's definitely to your benefit.
Yeah, I've actually been a computer scientist for around 3 years or so.
Oh, nice. Well, I don't want to take too much away from the C++.
No, I'm not taking too far away. I'm just letting you know that.
Oh, great.
So a lot of this stuff's actually quite familiar.
Great.
Like the methods and all that. And compiling your program, there's all sorts of stuff that's familiar.
Yeah. I have a lot of background and stuff that I know not a formal education, so I'm trying to.
I'm actually writing some game ideas for some companies.
Hey guys,
well.
it's this is a fantastic conversation. But you can also have that conversation.
Maybe I'll just do it on Reddit.
Yeah, you can have that conversation, right? Because more people might also join, right? So
happy to move on to C++.
We have time. I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about losing students. Because if people are always talking about the advanced stuff, then during the first few weeks there are students who are not quite there. They might just drop off and say this is too much for me. So we want to keep them all in until such time as they can't get out, right? Which is the end of next week, right? Yeah. All right. So that's great. Also, I think I mentioned this before. CS2A is my funnel. I'm looking at it as my funnel. I don't know if you're familiar with the marketing speak jargon. Is qualifying. That's how they do it in marketing, right? They qualify people and do cold calls. You get these cold calls from telemarketers because to cold calls they dump everything into the funnel, but only some fraction of the funnel moves forward to the next stage, right? Most people don't even pick up the call, so it keeps on dwindling down. And then the marketing people, the sales people, they have these methods to keep on sharpening, right? And qualifying the people, right? So better and better leads, and then the tip of the funnel is where you actually close the sale. Right. There is actually a nice movie. It's Glengarry, I don't know, Alex Baldwin and Jack Lemmon, and I don't know, I forgot the name. Glengarry something. It's a cool film. It was a stage play on Broadway. And it turned it into a film, and it talk about the funnel, but. Let's not digress. Okay, all right. So, hey, Nathan, can you now flesh out flesh out the main? If you want me to talk, I can talk about it. But yeah, there you go. Other people also, right? When Nathan is stuck with something, other people should feel free to call out, right? And say, hey, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Right? It shouldn't just be me. So give me a break.
Okay. So, what else should I add?
Great. Thank you. Yeah, that is your everybody, right? Everybody who is starting out, what Nathan just did, do that. Okay, that is that gets you past the programmer's block. The programmer's block is real. You may talk to writers, right? Authors who say there's a writer's block, right? So many big companies pay a lot of money to authors, and they're not writing. They're just sitting there. Programmer's block is just like that. You may have an idea, what needs to get done, but you can't get started. So the best way to overcome programmer's block is to do what Nathan just did, is like 10 lines, right? 8 lines. 8 lines of code, just memorize it. Just memorize those 8 lines of code and type it in. Just type it in, blindly type it in, okay? That will take you 80% of the way in getting over your programmer's block. Okay, now what we want to do is in your main, I'm thinking, right? So, and again, this is all just fuzzy thought. You guys can refine it and say other things that we want to do, but I'm thinking, here's what we want to do. In main, we want to be able to call a function that function is going to do something. And right now we'll keep it really simple and say that function is just going to calculate a quantity, right? It's going to calculate a quantity. Maybe it'll just do the calculation of the average, right? It's going to calculate the average and then return that average to you. And main says, hey, thank you for the average. And main is going to print that to screen. Is that okay? We'll do it that way. And then what we'll do is, and then we'll take this program and make these modifications, right? In case I forget later on, someone please remind me, okay? These are modifications I'm thinking of right now. This function that you're going to call, let's make this function, no, before you call the function, in main, right? In main, and there's a reason for that. Ask me why. In main, well, let's ask the user for 5 numbers, okay? You're gonna say, enter the first number, enter the second number, okay? Get 5 numbers from the user in main, and then you're gonna call the function and say, hey, function, here are 5 numbers, add them up and give me the average, or, you know, mean or standard deviation, whatever statistical quantity you want, right? So calculate that and you get the number back, the results back from the function. And then in main, you're going to print the value saying the average of the numbers that you typed is this. And when you print the value, we can do what, I think, was it Nathan or someone asked this question, Peter, how to format the number. Peter.
That wasn't, I think, probably Peter.
Peter. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, and then when we print the number out, we have a chance to play with some formatting there too. Does it make sense? Is that okay?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, and I think that is probably enough to take us until about 9:30 or so, right? And then for the remaining 30 minutes of class, then you guys can come up with an idea, or someone else can come up with an idea, and then we can code that. Yeah?
Sounds good.
All right, great. And
so,
yeah, go ahead.
So I know something about programmer's block. I think another way is you should plan your program first, right, before writing code.
You always have to program, you know, yeah, I think planning is
I mean, you do have to program, but I'm just saying, you know, you should plan it, right? You know, like you do steps like pseudocode and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
You explain what your
More
program
usually, what people make use of is something called boilerplate code, but I don't think we should.
That's, yeah, this is the
boilerplate right now.
Yeah.
But I just remember from my first computer science teacher, that's what you should do, right? Create a plan, you then solve it with, you then explain what the program's going to do, then you create pseudocode, that sort of stuff, then you do real code, right?
Yeah, but you know, yeah, absolutely. Do what works for you. Okay, do what works for you, and also keep this in mind that, you know, that first computer science teacher that you had might have given you some advice for a particular situation or the most common situation that he or she thought you may encounter, and so it's good to follow the advice. But as I always say, keep the advice in your mind in the right perspective. It is not a rule that says you're going to die if you don't follow it, right? So always ask, do I need to follow
Depends
that?
on the person.
Depends on the, you know, no, on the situation, on the project, right? Some projects, you always have to plan, but sometimes your plan can just be made in your mind. Yeah, it can just be made in your mind, and then you can, simple things like this, you can just jump into coding. All right, so here's what we want to do. So
what's the oh, never mind. I just wanted to ask, what's the command to take user input? Is it cin?
No, cin is an object. It's not a command. And what we'll do is we'll follow a certain style of developing this, which you can see if it works for you, and right. So we're just going to put in what we're going to do in comments first, and then flesh out under the comments. Yeah. So accept 5 numbers from the user. Yeah. Okay. And then a few.
Should they be side by side or like? Oh, okay.
Yeah, a few lines down. Then you say pass the numbers to an average calculating function and get the result.
Look at that! It barely fits on my screen.
Shorten it somehow, right? Yeah, you can say 2A function, maybe, you know, 2A function to get the average. Is that okay?
Yeah. So should I think maybe we should have a separate function to accept the 5 numbers and a separate function to get the average.
Yeah, but for our case, I think we'll just do the getting the input and everything in main for now.
Okay.
But it's not done yet. So before the return, we want one more comment.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Right, and then and then you say output the average to the user. So there's 3 things that we need to do.
Cool.
Yeah, and then above main under the using namespace standard.
Mm-hmm.
Right? One more. No, you already have using namespace standard there.
Oh, okay.
So a blank line there, and then a blank line, and no, just a blank line. No using there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just a blank line. One more blank line, and then write a comment. After a blank line. After a blank line. Next, write a comment saying a function to calculate the average and return it. Function to calculate a 5-number average and return
it. Can the function be anywhere, or does it need to be above main?
Very good question. So was this Nate or someone else who asked?
That was me.
Yeah,
Nate.
That's actually a very good question. So write a comment there saying, does this function need to be above main, or can it be anywhere? Because that's something we're going to experiment and find out. Yeah. And you'll find out. And I'll tell you exactly the advantage. So I'll explain the advantage of having some functions above main, some functions below main, or elsewhere, right? And then you'll be able to see why. Find the best places for these functions. Okay, so that's where that function needs to go. What we can do is just put in a template. This is called a stub function. Okay, a stub function is a function that doesn't do the right thing, but it behaves in a right way. It behaves in the right way, but it doesn't do the right thing. Okay, that is called a stub function, meaning that function can be used by someone else who's building something else, who is also not expecting the right result. He's building something, and they need all the pieces. They need all the pieces, and they just need to know if they will behave in a predictable way. Right. So if you're going to build a house, and you need a lot of things, right? You need contractors, you need builders, and you're going to, but you don't know the details. But you're just going to see are the parameters of my interaction with that person correct or not? Because I don't know what they're going to do. The parameters are they able to do it for this many dollars? Are they able to do it within that many square feet? All of those things. Check. All right. So when that's done, then you use it. Right. So that means that I haven't yet decided, I haven't actually used that person for the job, but I have selected that person because that person behaves in a way that I find suitable for my project. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So right now, above main, right under the comments that you have, right on top. There, let's define a stub function. And this function is going to return a floating point value, right? So write float. So when we have a type name in front of a function, it means that function is going to return something to the caller of that function. So when someone says, hey, function, go and do something, when it comes back, it's going to return that float, right? So that's what the float on the left means, okay?
And if you don't return anything, you don't need to put like the float or whatever type
good question.
The function name.
Thank you, Nate, for asking that. If a function does not return anything, traditionally, it used to be called a procedure, not a function. In C++, the way you do that is by saying void instead of float.
Okay.
Right? If you say void, it means it's a function that does something but doesn't return anything. Yeah.
Oh, so that's what void means. I heard that term before in Java, and I never. I probably should have asked, but
yeah, it's like decimal, right? I mean, it's a number that you can put in decimals on like int, right?
I'm not sure what you mean there, but let's keep going on, right? So float, and then this function, calculate. That's fantastic. Calculate average, right? And now this function is going to calculate the average, but what is it going to calculate the average of? It's going to calculate the average of 5 different numbers, yes?
So you probably want to pass ints or doubles.
Ints or doubles. Yeah, let's just do ints for now.
Okay.
Because we'll still be able to have that rounding issue that we can play with. Yeah. All right. So he's got these 5 numbers. Don't worry about the specifics of, parameters and what these parameters are and so on and so forth. We'll cover all of those in detail, right? But for now, we'll just assume that this is a function that's going to be called, and it's going to be given 5 numbers. When you call it, you're going to, and I'll show you how to call, right? It's going to be given 5 numbers. It's going to do some magic with those 5 numbers and return another number, okay? So inside the function, for now, just return 0.0. Right now, we know that this is a stub. It's a stub, right? It doesn't do the right thing, but it will allow us to use this function here. Okay, so now we want to accept input from the user, and we'll accept input from the user in main. Okay, now here is a very good thumb rule that I always use, and I have not found a situation where I have to break it yet. It is that if a function the calculate average is an internal function. The user does not need to know about that function. Yes, it's an internal function. So main is a function that interacts with the user. So calculate average, which is an internal function, should not in any way interact with the user. Okay, that is very important, and it is a rule that many newbies break. Right, many newbies break. So when I see code that does this, I know this person is a fresh off the boat programmer, right? Because and you can think about it, right? If you take your car to get fixed to the mechanic, right? So you take it to the Toyota store, and you don't go and talk to the mechanics in the workshop. You take it to the manager or the receptionist, and they'll take over from there, right? So you only talk to the manager. Now, suppose the mechanic discovers that there is a part, a car that needs to be replaced, right? He's not going to call you, right? So you're not going to get a call from the mechanic. So you get a call from the manager of the shop. This is the floor manager or the shop manager will call you and say, hey, the car you left behind, it needs a new converter. So, and there's a reason for that, right? A single point of contact simplifies everything. If everybody can call everybody, then you get spaghetti life, right? So just like spaghetti programs, you get spaghetti life. There's a whole lot of confusion, and that's the reason we have the structure. So calculate average should only calculate the average, and that's what the name also means, right? So Nate chose the exact the right name for this function because that name reflects what the function is supposed to do. All right. So in main, we can talk to the user. Main is allowed to talk to the user. So here in main, what we'll do is print a prompt saying enter the first number. Okay, and say cout enter the first number. Is everybody following along? The reason I'm asking is that Nate is typing fast, which means that he probably has a little bit of experience already, and he's not one of the
I can follow along with this.
I do have
I'm
a
a
question,
JavaScript
super
developer,
fast.
so I have some. Oh, what's your question?
What's the difference between naming the ints in the calculate average in the parentheses versus what we did on Tuesday, where we listed them like int num1 inside?
We're going to do that here. Yes, thank you. Who asked that question?
Joseph. What's the difference though?
Yeah. I'll tell you what the difference is right now. Okay. So, hey, Nate, after the opening brace in main, can you declare 5 integers like we did last time? A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, enter. Or? Yeah, on the next line. Yeah, after the brace, hit enter. Yeah, int A, comma B, comma C, comma D, comma E. Okay, all right, enter again. It's because the declaration is one paragraph and then the body is another paragraph. Okay, now, so enter the first. What we're going to do now is just accept input from the user into each of those values, right? Each of those values, A, B, C, D, and E. So now say C in, under the cout statement. Yeah, say C in, right shift is double greater than. Yeah, A. That the value is now read from the keyboard, semicolon.
That's really cool.
Yeah, really cool, isn't it? So semicolon and enter. No, you can't do it. I don't know. Maybe yeah. Does that
Let's try it.
Anyway, the way to do what you were trying to do, we're not going to do it. I'll show you what to do, what you were trying to do, but let's not do it that way. Okay. What Nate was trying to do was C in right shift A, no semicolon, right? And get rid of the semicolon, and then space. No, comma, right? Instead of the comma, have another right shift.
Oh, that's
right, B. And so this is called chaining a function, right? Now, here, we do this all the time, especially in JavaScript now, and in many other languages. You can chain a function. If you call a function, and a function does something on an object, or you call a function on an object, and it does something on the object, and returns the object, you can, call the function again on whatever the function returns. So that's basically what's going on here. This will make a whole lot more sense in week 8 or week 9, right? When we talk about functions and other things, right? So that's what this does. The same CN object loads A, and then the same CN object will load B, C, D. It's the same object is returned by each of those loaders. So, but we're not going to do it this way because we want the prompt to be printed every time.
Okay.
Yeah. So now copy and paste. No, but we need the prompt. We need enter the second number. So you need to copy both of those lines.
Oh, Visual Studio Code auto formatting kind of sucks. How does CN know when to end, by the way?
When to end?
Yeah, because
end reading from the keyboard.
Yes.
Right. So again, that's a very good question. So it knows it in two different. Well, basically, CN is designed to stop when it hits white space or end of file. End of file meaning end of input. So two different situations when it will stop. So basically, when you have a white space character, by white space I mean either a space or a tab, or new line, form feed, and things like that. Now, when you're reading a number, again, CN, the operator, it's not CN, right? This is the operator. That function, the operator, is designed so that when you're reading in a number, it will stop as soon as it sees a non-numeric character, right? So if you have 55, ABC, 1, 2, 3, it'll stop after reading a 55. We'll experiment with all of those, right? We're going to experiment with all of those and see what happens. In fact, this program is fantastic, right? This program is fantastic because it has immense scope for breaking. Not in a bad way. It's immense scope for experimentation, right? Immense scope for us to try to break this, change this and see what happens. Change this and see. So many things we can do to this program that it will be very useful. Now, at the end of that sequence of statements, you would have got values into all of these guys. Yes. So now you can pass these values to your function.
Oh,
so you can say,
that makes sense. I was kind of actually, my next question would be how do they get the values? But so CN shifts or it uses this shift operator to get the value and then put it into A or B or C or D or E.
Yes,
that's really cool.
Yeah, and then you're going to pass these values. Also, could you put in a blank line after the declaration before your first comment, except 5 numbers?
Oh,
right?
yes.
No, before that. Oh. Because the accept is really part of this, right? Yeah, okay, great. Now we want to pass this. So let's now, at this point, declare a variable called average, right? So just say float average. Oh, it has to be float, right? Because
equals calculate average.
And then you're going to give that function the 5 numbers that it needs.
Right? I just pass it as parameters.
Yeah, those are the parameters. Now you can, on the next, after the output, the average, the comment on that line, the line 29, hit enter, Now you can say cout average equals.
Oh, wait, what? Average equals?
Yeah, within quotes. So you cout, and then you have to shift, right? So shift, left shift. And then within quotes, you say average equals. No. After the left shift, you want to say, within quotes, average equals, and then space. Yeah, there you go. And then you have to left shift again, left shift the average into that.
Yeah, I never fully got that. Is this like? Oh, let me.
Yeah. No, you need a new line also, right? And L.
Oh, cool. Is the left shift also kind of is that like the plus operator in JavaScript or what?
No. The left shift is a regular shift operator. It is a shift operator. So what happens in C++ is that anything can be overridden, including operators. So if you have plus, for example, right? Plus, plus or minus or times. In C++, incredible thing about C++ is that you can also redefine the meanings of all these operators.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so later on, now we're just dealing with ordinary numbers, right? Floating point numbers and integers. Later on, maybe you want to define a number of a new kind of number. That's your own number, right? Maybe a complex number, because, there is no native type for a complex number in C++. Yeah, the complex number is A plus IB, right? A plus that imaginary component. A plus IB is your complex number, right? It has a real part. And how many of you have done mathematics in complex numbers?
I have.
Not everybody, apparently.
Oh, I have.
Let's take rational numbers. Rational numbers, okay? Rational numbers. A rational number is basically a ratio of two integers. Yeah, so like 3 over 4. That's a rational number. So every number is a rational number, basically, except real numbers, right? So yeah, number 3 is so incredibly exciting and on its own in its own right. So maybe you want to define a rational number. Which is not one of the standard types. It can be an integer, it can be a float, so it's a rational number. And so you have two rational numbers. You have a rational number A, rational number B. And then, rational numbers are numbers. They can be added. So how do you add these two numbers? So you get A plus B, but how would A plus B work for this weird type, which has got a numerator and a denominator, not a single number? So because rational number was a class, was a data type defined by you, you have the power and the option to redefine the plus operator such that if plus was used in the context of two rational numbers, it will not employ the standard plus algorithm that's given to you by the C++ designers. It will employ the plus algorithm designed by you to add two rational numbers. So people that are using your class for a rational number can continue to use plus and minus according to their intuitive notions of what they do in regular life. So how cool is that, right? So you don't have to define your own, like in Java, you can't do that in Java, right? In Java, if you wanted to add two rational numbers, you have to define a function called add rationals, right? You have to define a function called add rationals and pass it to rational numbers and get the result. But in C++, you can just redefine plus and say, C equals A plus B, and A and B are rational numbers, and it'll do the addition just like it is regular numbers, right? So like that, this left shift operator is basically is as like in we talked about numbers in bit shifting, right? It's a shift operator for shifting bits. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
You talked about changing the behavior of, for example, the plus operator. Is that called overloading in C? Oh, okay, so like method overloading.
Yeah, overloading means you can give it multiple meanings, right? Even in English, right? So overloading is giving it multiple meanings. Giving multiple meanings to the same word the word is overloaded. So giving multiple meanings to the same operator is the operator is over. In every operator in C++ is overloaded, right? Whether you know it or not, you take any operator, I can tell you more than one different meaning for it, and you will know too, right? So and likewise, the left shift operator is overloaded. In the context of numbers, it will bit shift, right? In the context of cout, which is an object which is designed by C++ engineers, right? The operator knows that, oh, I don't have numbers to work on. I have the cout object, which means my functionality should not be to add or shift bits. It should be to shift whatever's on the right-hand side into the console. So the shift operator knows that it needs to take that number and put it on the console, or take some number from the keyboard and put it in the number. So does that make sense? That is what that operator does. Did that answer your question?
Yes, kind of.
Well, so what was your question again? Sorry.
My question was basically, so in JavaScript, you can add strings and let's say an int together, and they would kind of concoct as a string and an int. And what it looks like it's doing right now is the same thing, but with this left shift operator instead of a plus. So that's just.
Can we try something? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's very good. Can we actually try a really quick experiment, if you don't mind? So let's get this working, and I want to try this experiment. That was it Nate? Nate who brought this up?
That was me, Nate. Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, well, actually, it should work right now, although it'll return the wrong number because the average calculation is not correct yet. Well, let's fix it. Let's return the correct average. Just, go to that function. Just say return num1 plus num2 plus num3 divided by 5.0. 5.0, yeah, yeah. Okay, so now this is a completely working. It's a working program. You don't need the outer parentheses.
Oh, right. My bad.
All right, so I think this is a working program, right? So you should be able to compile it and run it, and it will actually run. And then what we're going to do is do some of the other things. So type in a bunch of numbers. You can call out some numbers.
Oh, what? What's wrong with Visual Studio? I cannot. It's a read-only terminal. I can. Oh no.
No. Don't worry. Click on terminal. Click on terminal. Click.
Yeah.
Okay. Now do an ls-l. Is this Windows? No, this is Mac, right?
Yes, Mac.
ls-l. Yeah. Enter. Yeah. So you can just type /week3. /week3. That's the name of your program. No, that's slash. //
Oh.
//
Oh, my bad.
So that's your program. And I don't know why it wasn't running in the other window, but it should run here. Okay, guys, give him some numbers.
Oh, my bad.
That's all right.
Okay.
12.
Cool.
15.
73. We have a 17 and a 73. If I got that correct.
It's all good.
Oh, okay. So 17 or okay, 17, 73. What else?
100.
19.
Cool.
Okay, great. So this is the averages. So it works. Yes. Now here is what we want to do. Go back to the program. And now what we'll do is we're going to try some experiments to answer some of the questions that have already been asked. And then you can also ask more questions and we can try more experiments. Okay. So I'm trying to think back to what was the question from before. Average equals average. You're printing the average. One of the things we want to do later is to also fiddle with the formatting of the output, so we can try different kinds of formatting. I'll come back to that. Right. Before class ends, I'll show you how to do that. What else was I trying to do? Passing
I think trying to use the plus operator like in Java.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay. Now here's what we're going to try and do. Okay. So comment out line 30 and copy and paste it again one more time. Now we're not going to run this program, but we're going to copy and paste it one more time. Now instead of average, say turn that first thing average equal to into some other string. Let's say ABC. Turn that into ABC.
Okay.
Yeah, ABC. And then the second thing, average, turn that also into a string. Make that XYZ.
Yeah, you clearly can't add different types like in JavaScript.
Yeah, or I think in Java also, right? This work in Java also. But here, obviously, even the compiler picks it up, right? So it says it won't work. Now let's put the three strings inside of parentheses. Put the 3 strings inside of parentheses. You still have that error, right? Now, this is really strange because I believe that this would happen only in C++, where within quotes, it's a string pointer, whereas it's not a string object. Now, we're going to try one more thing, right? That ABC within quotes, turn that into string ABC within quotes. And string, string, and then, like that, right? And do that with the rest of them also.
I didn't even need to change the others because it automatically changes it for them.
The funny thing is, do that on the last one instead of the first one, right? Do that on the last one instead of the first one.
All right.
So hey guys, all of you, right? These are all not fluff. Okay, this is actually the most important part of today's demo. These little things we're trying to do here. These little experiments, trying to say, do this and why doesn't it work, right? So even though it only takes like 10 seconds, this is actually the most important part, as you may know, right?
The compiler doesn't like it.
Yeah, doesn't like it, right? Now, what happens if you do it in the middle? So these are the kinds of things, experiment like this, experiment like this. I'm just showing you a couple of ways in which you can experiment. Experiment like this as much as you can, right? Now, does this work?
Yes.
All right. So now this is really interesting, isn't it? So you know that it works on the left, it works on the right. It works on the left, it works in the middle, but it doesn't work on the right. Now so now that is something that you can noodle on in your spare time, and also find the answer to this. Find the answer to this and post it in Reddit, right? And say why. Now, I can give you a hint, but I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't give you a hint, because you should try and find out, because that pleasure I don't want to take that pleasure away from you. Right? But it is due to precedence rules and the order in which an expression is evaluated. So that's your hint, okay? Precedence rules and the order in which an expression is evaluated. That's the reason you get it. And the other reason is, of course, because string objects, right? A string object is different in C++ from a naked string presented between double quotes like that. Because a constant string within double quotes in C++ is really not a string, right? It is really, to our eyes, it looks like a string because it's in double quotes, but to C++, that is actually a character pointer. It's an address to a memory location where the letters A, B, and C are stored somewhere. A, B, and C are stored somewhere in memory. And within quotes, ABC is basically just the address of the first letter, A. A is stored in memory location 5,342,000, right? So that string ABC is basically 5,342,000. It's a constant string. It knows that if you go to that address, it can find A, and then the next byte is going to be B, and the next byte is going to be C, and byte after that is going to be the sentinel 0. So it is basically a character pointer. It's an address. It's not a string. Right? Whereas string, when you say that is a string explicitly, like it's a string XYZ, right? Now that character pointer is not a native pointer anymore. It's not a primitive type. A pointer is a primitive type, right? So now what happens is that there is this object, this class called string, which knows to construct a sophisticated object which contains inside of itself, inside that object is a pointer that points to that memory location, but that object is not that pointer anymore. That object is basically an object, it's a string object. Now, once you have an object, now you can redefine a lot of things, a lot of properties about that object, right? So the string class has the plus operator redefined, okay? Well, I'm not gonna say anymore. Okay,
so let me just write a comment so that I remember to post on Reddit why.
Yeah. Please do. Remember to post on Reddit and
why string and string. How should I word that? String.
I see. And why? Why
works on the first two params instead, or first two strings. And
first two strings and not.
I had a quick question. Couldn't he have just see out the function call instead of having to do the extra step?
Where is this? What are you?
Average. Instead of, couldn't he have directly printed that function call out instead of?
Totally. Yes. Thank Susanna. Thank you for asking that. Yes, what Susanna is saying is that where are you printing the average? I don't even see you printing the average anymore.
Oh, here.
Okay. Well, what Susanna is saying is can you replace the word average, the lowercase average?
Yeah. You can probably do.
You can do that. You do that now. Yeah, you can do that now.
Okay, let me copy this and comment this out. So many comments. All right.
I can see like the pros and cons of both. I just know I've always been told to, and as you just said beforehand, don't like take things as like rules. Always like look at what you could do with or without something. But I was always told not to like do too many things in one line. But
code's already running.
Yeah.
It's like I can see the pros and cons of like doing both of them.
Yeah. No, I know. There's a whole lot of thumb rules, and don't. And there's also thumb rules saying you shouldn't calculate things on the C outline and things like that. You have to just evaluate each thing before you do it and see if it makes sense. Hey, you're missing a new line on the new C out that you did.
Oh, right. For some reason, it says the code is already running. So.
I think you have to. I think you need to shift it.
Oh, right. Oh my God.
What did it say?
Oh, nothing anymore. 1 second. Let me see. Oh, sorry, I'm not.
No, take your time.
Can you do F5? I think you can do F5 and have it run. Pick your compiler.
Is this Visual Studio?
Yeah, this is Visual Studio.
Oh, no, it's not Visual Studio. It's VS Code.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So it's the same interface, but yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. What are you looking for? Maybe someone else might know.
It's fine. I can just CD into that. I'm already in the CS2A in my terminal, so.
Oh, you want to run it? You mean?
Yeah.
You can run it in the terminal that you have below. You can run it right there.
Have we checked output or? It looks like there's an output tab.
No, it'll print the output right there.
Oh, there we go.
Sure.
All right. Who wants to give 5 more numbers? 5 more numbers.
Just plug anything in.
Yeah, just
22.
Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Cool. That works.
So that also works. Now, what we can do is also try do some formatting of the output. Yeah, we can do some formatting of the output,
sure.
which I think Peter wanted to know earlier. And then also, I think we may have time to play around with some very, very basic branching statements. Introduce branching statements today, and we'll talk more in detail about those things later on. And we can do that later. So let's start with formatting it. And for formatting it, let's go back to the old way of doing it, which is, have calculate average into a variable and print the variable, because, the formatting is going to introduce more things on the C outline, and, a single word will take up less space. So average equals, put back the line that you had before, that, average equals calculate average. Yeah. Oh, you have the previous line where,
Oh, right.
Okay. All right. Now, if you run it, it just says 6.6 because it's just a floating point number. But let's say that we want to print that number in using 5 spaces, right? 5 spaces. Now, the thing is, I forget the details of formatting all the time, and I have to look it up. But we're going to try it. If it doesn't work, we'll just look it up and do it. Okay? Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. So what we want to do is before you have the left shift average, you say STD, standard colon set width. Right? I think it's SETW, double colon SETW width and W. Oh, there's no set width.
All right.
Set position maybe. I just Google for it, right? Just go to a browser and say C++ set width. Set W. C++ set W.
Set W.
Yeah, click that.
Oh, okay. Clearly that works.
Wait, why didn't it work for us?
I don't know. Maybe Visual Studio Code just.
No. Oh no, you have to include I/O manipulation right at the top. So yeah. Go back to your file. I/O manipulation. I/O manip. Yeah. Okay. Now I think it should be fine.
There we go.
All right. Now say 10 or something. No. Set width 10. So now average will be printed in 10 spaces, right? So run it.
Wait, let me
run
see.
it and then give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 numbers, right? What's the average of 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, maybe. That would be 1.2.
It says 3.
Yeah, no, but it didn't give you all those spaces.
How are we supposed
you know
to
what?
see
I think I don't know. I did give you the spaces. The spaces went after the 3, not before the 3. To confirm that, before you print the new line, print a period new line. Make it a period new line. ./n. I bet the dot will come out far out in the right field. No?
Oh, no, I can't even see the dot.
Where is the dot?
Let's try. No.
No. This is something. There's an error here somewhere.
Wait 1 second. Let me try something. Let me try.
Yeah.
Wait, did you rebuild it after you changed the?
Oh, that's right. You didn't rebuild it. Yeah. Thank you.
That's true.
Yeah, you didn't recompile it. That's why.
That is true.
Wait, why is he including the STD as well? Is that perhaps why it's not working? Because
No, that's not it. But you don't need the STD. Susanna's right, because you're using namespace, right?
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
Okay, so this should work. This should work. If you compile it, it should work. We didn't compile it last time.
All right, let's see if it. Oh my God, code is already. It's not letting me compile again.
No. Go back to the problems. Go back to the problems tab.
Uh-huh.
No. Click the play triangle on top. That will compile it for sure. Play triangle on top. Right. Top right.
Wait, what?
No, top.
The play button.
The play button.
Yeah, code is already running. Yeah, I think code runner might have broke. I can. Is there any way to compile from like a terminal?
Yeah, you can compile it from terminal.
How do I do that?
Because of your shell.
Just type make week 3 right there.
Make week 3.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. All right. So now run it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Then you will get a 0.2 also, right?
Oh,
there you go. You get the spaces in front. Yeah. Okay. So it actually works. The spaces do go in the front. Now, let's say you want to print it with 3.20000, right? So you want to put trailing zeros on the back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every single way you want to print it, it's possible, right? So we're not going to do it here, but go to the Google window and type C++ format floats with format floats. How to format floats, right? How to format floats. And you'll get like a ton of examples, right? How to print pi with this many, or leading zeros, trailing zeros. You'll get everything.
What does set precision do?
Set precision is exactly what we need. That sets how many numbers you want after the decimal point.
Let's do that.
Right? Do it. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, find out something and try it out. That's the way to do it, right? That's the way to do it. So set precision 4, right? Then
should I do it after or before the average?
Before. Once it shifts it, you don't have any control. Before.
Does set precision directly manipulate the bit?
Then you'll get 2.2000, I think, right? Yeah.
So point. Wait. Oh, all right. Let's try this. I was just. I thought if we wanted to get 0.2000, I thought we would have to put that after the average. Let's run this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Set precision 4.
Wait, let's try.
Oh, I see. Yeah. It does give you, except the problem with this is that it's not giving you the full precision because they're all zeros. Now, on the other hand, if it was pi, so instead of average, where do you got average, right? No, right below. Forget about count. Yeah, make that average at the bottom. On line 35. Sorry, I'm pointing with my finger. You can't see my finger.
Yeah.
Right? Make that 3.14159265358. That's all I can remember of pi. Yeah, that's fine.
I haven't memorized pi in since.
I know. I can do 8 digits. But I have a friend, my neighbor at SRI. I told you, right? He remembers pi to 5,000 digits.
Wow.
Yeah. So
there's a song about like the numbers of pi. I can remember like the first 5-6 digits. 1592.
Yeah. Okay. So you got 3.142. And
yeah, because it rounded up 3.141 because there's a 5 after that. And since we set
I think the precision includes the precision. When you say precision, it also uses the point. The radix also uses up one of those. So you get 3 after the radix. So you said 4. It says radix in 3.
Wait,
so
what?
The point 142 is 4.
Yes.
4 digits of precision.
Yes.
But you only see 3 because a point took up one of those spaces.
I thought it was because of the number on the left of the decimal.
Why? How does that matter?
I thought set precision 4 would only capture 4 digits. I didn't. I thought.
Oh, I see. You're saying the 4 would capture 4 total digits, not just the digits after the dot.
We can try seeing it.
Try it out. Yeah, because I'm also curious. I don't know what happens.
I need to remove the.
In fact, you can make it simpler. Yeah, you can remove.
I was right. Yeah, that's.
It is. Yeah. Try. Let's confirm that. Let's confirm that even more. Try a big number. Yeah.
Let me remove the.
Now you should not get any of those, right? You should only get the integer part. Yeah. Okay. So you're right. Precision includes the whole thing, not just the part after the fraction. Now there is also an option for what you can send out that prints leading zeros, right? If you have 52.5, it is possible to print it out as 0052.5. So even leading zeros, it's possible to have. There is an option that you can use, like set precision, right? To make it print leading zeros. It is also possible to print trailing zeros, right? 1.5 can be printed as 1.5, 1.50, 1.500. They're all 1.5, right? So that is also possible. And you can print it out in binary. You can print it out in hexadecimal. You can print it out in octal. Wow. Everything is possible using these, modifiers. These are modifiers. If there is interest, I can show you how to do it the old school way, which is using something called printf, right? Printf is an incredibly useful and powerful function, right? It has so much. I would say, so printf is so complex, so much built into it that it probably conquers the whole world, right? No, this isn't a hyperbole there, but there is so much you can do with printf. Unfortunately, for a period of time, it fell out of disuse because people said, in C++, you shouldn't use printf. You should use the set precision and set width, and those are the ways you should follow. Format the output. You shouldn't follow them. I think what happened was lots of people just blindly followed the rules and said, no printf. We shouldn't use printf because it's against the rules. But I think what happened over the last few years was that people started to realize that not everything is bad about printf, right? Maybe printf has got some disadvantages, but you should throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? And so people started to think clearly instead of just following rules blindly and said, okay, there's actually situations where printf is actually better to use. It's easier for me to use printf than something else, right? So printf is actually a useful function to know and have in your inventory. So if you want, do we have time? We have 20 minutes more. I'm happy to show you. This is one line, just one line.
Please,
yeah, I'll show you. All right, so on the next line, after the cout, say enter. And then type in what I say, and then I'll explain later, right? Printf, and then open parentheses, and then within quotes, say average, exactly what you had before. Average equals, and then inside of the quotes, no, here it's printf is C, right? It's not C++. So when you're dealing with printf, you're just dealing with strings. In fact, character pointers, no less than, no C++ there, okay? And here, you're going to say percent 4.5f. Actually, not 4.5f. Make it 9.5f, right? Because 9.5f. Okay.
Oh, that's cool. So you can pass different types into printf. Could you pass the average?
Yeah, totally.
How with percent?
Yes, totally. So
that's like
wait. You haven't completed it yet. No, you can do that. No. Unlike you can do something like that in Python, right? In Python, you can just put average within curly braces, and we'll just interpolate it.
Yeah, you can do that in JavaScript as well.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know.
It's used a lot in React.
Yeah, I've never used that in JavaScript. But anyway, here you have to put the percent thing back, percent 9.5f. And then the actual value of the average is going to come after the double quote. After the double quote, the average is your second parameter. No, not plus here. It's your second. It's a parameter to printf. Comma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now you say 5323 point. Yeah, average doesn't have that many decimal digits. Just use that big number you have, 5323.1415. Right now, try and run it. Now, oh, you need a new line. You need a new line after the f, 9.5f. No, not there. After the 9.5f. So yeah, based on Nathan's kind of confusion when he was typing in, I think this is probably a common point of confusion amongst all of you. So printf is basically a function. The only thing it is going to print is the first string. That first string is the only thing it is going to print. Everything afterwards, they are just parameters. That's what you're going to see, except that the percent 9.5f will get replaced by the first parameter. You can have a lot more stuff in there, right? So let's say instead of the word average in there, say percent s. No, percent sign s, percent s.
Oh.
Percent s. So percent s means it's not a floating point number. The first parameter is going to be a string, right? So now make the first parameter a string that says Nathan's average equals. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine. Right? So now the first parameter is a string. And it'll take the first string, the first parameter after the thing, right? The second parameter. It'll take that string and slot it in. The percent s will be replaced by the first string. The percent 9.5f will be replaced by that. Except that the percent 9.5f not only says that it's a float, but it also says the format in which that float should be represented is also given right there, right? So that says 9 spaces with 5 for the decimal. So if you run it now, you'll see that your number is printed in width of 9 with 5 taken up by the decimal part, right? So run it.
So oh wait, while I'm running it, I'll ask my question. So 9.5f, that just defines how many spaces the float.
Yes, how many? The width.
Okay, the width. Oh wow, I think.
Yeah, enter.
Oh yeah, I have.
Part is how many decimal places.
You didn't hit enter.
I did. Visual Studio Code, it just kind of froze.
Strange.
Yeah, it's an Electron app.
Yeah, VS Code is a pretty stable editor as far as.
Oh wow! Yeah, look at that.
All right. Yeah, just restart it.
Yeah.
It might actually be the shell that you're using.
Yeah, it could be.
No, it's unlikely because VS Code is really thin. It's basically just running a shell and it's made a pipe and it's just made a direct connection there.
I mean, to be fair, Visual Studio Code is a browser. It's Chromium, and I don't know. Electron apps are kind of.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, don't worry. Okay, so run it.
Let me.
There you go. So it's 9. Now put in more decimals after the punch in a bunch more numbers. But yeah, okay. Try and run it now. Oh, you got to compile it. You got to that's right. It is still because it knows. Now here let's do something really cool. Now where did it start? After 1415, and then it's the next one. Okay, so 1415. You got a 9 there. Turn that 9.
I noticed that you made a mistake on this program.
Turn the 2 into a 6. Turn the 2 into a 6. Yeah, run it now.
Oh, wow! Look at that.
Okay, so it does rounding and things like that too. Now, what would you do if you wanted to have leading zeros, right? Or even leading zeros in front. Now you see how you can get the zeros at the end of the decimal, right?
Excuse me. I think I noticed there's a bug in this program. You have equals appear twice, right?
Oh yeah, that is correct.
Oh yeah. Okay, all right. All right. So now, what do we do if we need the zeros in front of the? So now say percent 0, 0, 0, 10, 0, 10.
Wait, I have a question. Is it better practice to have the equals in here or with the string?
I don't know. This program is just a little hack job.
Okay.
I think it's a better practice to have it in the first parameter there. So you build your entire string representation there, and then you pass the. Oh no! I meant like
no.
How you had
That is absolutely right.
how you had it at the first, yeah, like that, because your second positional or your next positional parameters should be what you want to stuff into the string.
Yeah, exactly. Who said that, by the way? Peter, was it?
It was
Aaron, I think. Yeah.
Aaron, yes. Yeah, so that was very good. Thank you very much, Aaron. And in fact, the reason Aaron said that is because by just looking at the first string, you should get as much of an idea as possible as to how it's going to look.
Okay.
So as much of the formatting as possible, you cram into the first string itself, including plus and minus and equals and everything. So then it's easier on the eye. You know what it's going to look like, and only the values that need to be slotted in. So all right, okay. So now you turn the 9 into a 0, 9, and then reduce the 5, 3, 2, 3 to, let's say, just 23, or a small number.
Okay.
Yeah. Run it.
Oh.
Well, there you go. Right. So now you can also get the leading zeros because it knows to pad it on the left-hand side because you put the 0 in front of the 9. So likewise, I'm not obviously going to go into the details of formatting with printf, because go to your Google window and type in man printf, right? Or just go to your terminal. In the terminal that you had before, inside of your VS Code.
Oh, or.
Yeah, even Google is fine. Google fine. Go to the URL bar and type in that's fine. See, so printf has this many options. It's like sort. All of the old Unix programs, right? I think that's astronomers in astronomy. You can tell how old a star is. How old a star is by looking at the spectrum and seeing if the light is redshifted. Yes. See, if it's far away, the light is redshifted, right?
Yes,
because okay. So I think in C programming there's something very similar. In C programming, if you want to know how old a function is, right? How old a function is, just look at the manual page, and the old functions have a lot to them, right? Because over time, people have, or even in the old days when these functions came out, there were a lot of things that people wanted to cram into these things to get stuff working, right? So the older the function is, the more it has to it. So like sort. Right, sort in our minds, sort is a very simple program. It takes a list of things and just needs to sort it, right? But if you look at the man page for sort, and you do a man of sort, you'll see that it has a zillion options, right? Sort, grep, and all these things, zillion options. All these ancient functions do a lot of things, and that's how you find, right? You can date functions. This is carbon dating of C++ functions.
And especially with Linux and its approach to like building very specialized small tools for a very specific use case, and then building so many of them that you have an entire toolkit that you can find in your binaries folder.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. Yeah, Linux, Unix, when
Unix.
Yeah, Unix is basically Linux, right? Absolutely. In fact, if you go into the bin directory, if you do an ls, if you quit that and quit that. Hit Q. If you do an ls-l, ls-l, L of space /bin. No, // not dash. This is the second time you must have.
Oh my God! I'm sorry.
ls-l/bin, right? So that gives you what Aaron was saying. All these was it Aaron who said Linux?
Yeah. So, but this is Mac, so it has a pared down bin here.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. But the Mac basically is running a version of Unix. Mac OS is Unix, right? So even Windows.
That is true,
now, even Windows with the latest Windows 10, I think it's basically
Linux.
And they give you a Linux window too now.
Oh wow!
Before you get used to get the DOS prompt, it's in a C greater than. Now apparently, I haven't tried it, but I read a news release that said, with Windows 10, you can actually get a Linux command line native out of the box, bam, like that, just like here. So these are all the commands that you get for free. Echo, for example, is a very cute little simple command, which in fact is in a demo, argc-argv demo that I did. It's on YouTube. You can look it up. Someone linked to it and read it recently, I think. Right?
Echo, to compare, I have like 170 binaries in my bin. On an Ubuntu. Yeah.
And each one of those, really, right? Here, the one that he has on his Mac, each one of those is a very useful and interesting program, right? Each one of those is an interesting program, and many of those have history, right? Echo has the command echo has a history to it, which is not even technical history, right? You should read it up. Look it up and read it up, right?
It prints.
Recall memory from I don't know, over 20 years ago, right? When I first encountered Unix and Linux, and right, Echo. There was a debate at AT&T Bell Labs amongst programmers at AT&T Bell Labs, which is where Unix was born, right? So Ken Thompson and those people, Dennis Ritchie, they came up with the Unix operating system, and they are the ones who wrote all these commands, right? So when they wrote Echo, I think there was a debate saying, right now, type Echo hello world, right? Just type Echo hello world.
Yeah, and then it echoes what you pass to it.
Right, but you see, you only gave it hello and world, but it printed a new line at the end. You didn't give it the new line, right? The new line was meant for the shell to say, that's all, give it to Echo, give it to the Echo command and have it run and give me the result, right? The new line was given to the Echo, to the shell, but Echo also echoed the new line. So there was a...
I thought I could slash n.
If you don't want the new line, you have to say Echo-N. Echo-N hello.
Oh, I wanted to add an extra
as an
new
escape
line as well.
character. So you can,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you say dash
there we
N,
go.
dash N. Say dash N before the say dash N before, not there, after the echo, before the hello. Space, no, space dash N. Yeah, do it now. Oh, you need to you need to separate the no dash N space. Yeah, do that. Yeah, do that now. Where's the percent?
Oh, that's weird.
From? Where is the percent coming from?
That's a great question.
That's the TAC N, I think. It's because of the TAC N parameter. Is it?
Do it again. Just do it again. I don't know where the percent came from.
That's weird. Maybe it's because of your shell again, because you're using Z shell. I'm using Bash, and TAC N toggles the new line at the end, so I don't get a new line if I do echo hello world. It might be because of the shell that you're using.
Can you do one thing really quickly? So just up arrow again to get the previous command, and then pipe the vertical bar pipe.
Wait, what?
Vertical bar. I think it's above the slash.
I think you have to do.
Pipe.
I think you have to pass the flag E.
Shift slash. Shift backslash.
Shift.
It's above the return key.
Oh, okay.
And then type in cat space dash V. Dash V. Yeah. Enter. Oh, so it is actually a real percent sign, but why is it in inverse video? Well, I got to look into it later. But anyway, the debate in the AT&T Bell Labs was whether Echo should print the new line or not. And they have a lively, interesting lunchtime or water cooler discussion about this. And Kernighan, I think, was it Kernighan or Dennis Ritchie or someone? They actually described this discussion in their book. They wrote a book about Unix, and it described the discussion. And the discussion in the book it doesn't look like a technical discussion, right? There is this like this from Greek mythology, I suppose, right? This Echo is this woman and Narcissus. I think it's Narcissus, right? Narcissus is a very good-looking guy, apparently, falls in love with her. No, she falls in love with Narcissus, who is a very good-looking guy, but Narcissus is so narcissistic, right? That's where the word narcissistic comes from. So he's so full of himself that he ignores her completely, right? So she fawns over him. She says, "I love you so much," but he basically just ignores her because he is so enamored with how good he looks that he is just sitting by a pond looking at his own reflection in the water, right? He's just looking at his reflection because he is so beautiful, and this incredibly hot, stunning woman wants his love, and he completely ignores her, doesn't even know that he's there, right? And so what happens, I believe, is that over a period of time, Echo was there, and she is basically responding. Whatever he says, she also says, right? She's that much love she has for him, but he doesn't even listen to her. And then he just looks at him in a reflection, and then he basically just dies. He dies, and Echo never. And then I think this is the legend, right? And Echo, having lost her lover, just becomes a spirit also, and spirit, and all she does for the rest of her existence is basically repeat what other people say. Just like, that's what she did when Narcissus, she fell in love with Narcissus, repeat everything he said, but he never cared about her, and he died. And then after he died, she just became a repeater. So that's where the word echo comes from. So it comes from Greek mythology. Did you guys know this already?
I did not, actually. I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, it's an interesting story, isn't it?
I've never heard of it. I thought it was just, echoing back.
Yeah, that's it. But the word echo comes from there. The word echo, I believe, I could be wrong. You look it up, right? Comes from Greek mythology. This nymph, or this fairy called Echo, who fell in love with Narcissus, who was so narcissistic that he didn't care about her. And when he died, Echo could only repeat other people, right? Because that's what she got used to. It's a sad story, right? There's so many stories in Greek mythology that have tragic endings. Greeks were big on tragedy, I guess, right? Okay, so and there you go. So those are some interesting things. I think we're running up to the end of class. We have a bit more time. If you guys have questions, we can talk about those. We can talk, go over this program more times if you want. We use a function. We called a function. We did output. In fact, let's do a very simple branching statement if you guys want.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's only one person. Other people may not want.
A question?
Yeah.
So I think I figured out what printf does, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that 0.95f, that first 0 means there's going to be 1 leading 0. The 9 means there's going to be 9. There can be up to like 9 different characters in the integer, right? Yeah,
the width is basically the 0.9.5 is the width. You're right. It's the width.
Yeah, and then I mean the width of the place before decimal, the max width.
Yeah.
And the 5 is the max amount of decimal places, right?
Yeah, you may be right. The answer to your question is that I don't know, right? Things like that I usually look up just before I do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
so you can look it up too.
I know what %s means. String.
%s is a string. Yeah, %s is a string. Pop a string off the stack.
So I know something interesting. Mm-hmm. So I was compiling programs using Visual C++. I looked at them, at the compile code, and I noticed I wonder if it might be the part of it might be include as well. Sometimes it actually has a lot more instructions than the regular code, right?
What has more instructions than the regular code?
Can I explain?
Yeah, or you can just explain it in Reddit too. I think that's better because we only have 5 minutes. And I want to try the. Okay.
Maybe I'll ask in Reddit, right?
Yeah. But post it on Reddit.
But I noticed like the executable is like 50 kilobytes compared to, the source code, which is only less than 1 kilobyte.
Right.
What were we gonna do next on the program?
And that actually makes me wonder if maybe it's because of the include in the beginning. It's
no.
compiled it.
Oh, your question is why is the executable much bigger than the source code?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, it's not related to the includes and everything, right? We can talk about that later. When we have time. Absolutely. Remember that and bring it up. I can talk about it, or you can just talk about it in Reddit. This is a ton of answers you can find online too, right? So the reason I
do know what it does. Basically, it uses like push and all that.
Yeah. Absolutely. We'll come to that later. Was it Chad?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chad. We'll talk about all that later, or on Reddett. I want to do something.
I just found it interesting that source code is a lot smaller than the executable.
Thank you, Chad. Susanna brought up branching statements before. I want to touch upon that before we close class today. Yeah. All right. So go above the printf line. Say if average is less than 0. If if average is less than 0, okay, then what happened to the line below that? You want to, copy that and put it in there. Copy that and put it in there. And then say a positive average equals. Oh, negative average equals, not negative average. No. You say a negative as a word, or average is negative. Average, yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay. Yeah, negative average. Yeah, okay. All right, and then you can say else. And you can say printf. You copy the whole thing and you say positive. Right now, if you give it 5 numbers and the average is negative, you'll get the first one and the second one. Now this is actually and you need you replace your long numbers by the actual average.
Okay, so
you are calculating the average, so you can. Oh yeah, that's right.
Let me move this over here. And
no, not negative average. The average has already been calculated, right?
Oh, right, yes.
If the average is negative, yeah, okay. All right, so if you compile it and run it, and then.
Oh, what?
Accept. I think something.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I accidentally uncommented.
Yeah. That's fine.
That should be a comment.
Yeah, run it.
Okay.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the last number you can make it a big ass negative number, like a minus. Yeah.
Nice. Negative average is equal to.
And if you don't give it a negative number, it'll give you a positive. So that's your basic branching statement. Next week is it next week? Is it or on Thursday? What is today? Thursday? Oh my gosh, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. All right. Okay. So next week, what we'll do is we'll take branching statements, which this is a basic branching statement, right? And there's different ways in which you can do branching, right? Including nuances about branching, like dangling else's and so on. We'll talk about all of those next week, right? Again, what we'll do is get one of you, and it should not be Nate, right? Nate was on screen today, not Chad, not any of you who've had airtime before, right? I want someone who has not been on screen before. I need them to volunteer. And remember, right, at the end of this quarter, if your name on Reddit does not match that template that I've shown you in the syllabus, and you have not participated enough in Reddit by giving answers, not asking questions. Asking questions and getting answers from other people is not participation in Reddit, okay? So if you have not participated in Reddit, and I don't remember you from class, right? The best grade you can ever get in this class is a B+. Okay, you can ace your midterm, you can ace your quests, you can get full points on quests, midterm and the final, and you'll still only get a B+ in this class. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So I think I know one branching statement. There's if and else.
Yeah. We'll cover branching statements.
There's also switch case, which is what I've used in Java.
I actually
it's actually very efficient, but has its drawbacks.
Nate, what were you going to say?
I have just one question. So it seems that if we put more than 9 digits on this side of the floating point number, that'll still work. So is the 9 supposed to restrict it, or just say a minimum of 9?
It's a minimum of 9. Minimum.
Okay, cool.
However, it's things that you need to experiment and find out. And I could be wrong. Because I'll do it and it doesn't look like I expect it to, and I'll have to look up the Google or something. But I think it doesn't work the same way for the number after the point, right? I think after the point it means that's all. That's not a minimum of 5. It's only 5 decimal digits.
Okay.
On the left, I think it's
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right. Does that make sense? Was this class useful to you guys today?
Yes.
And it's useful only because Nate stepped up. Let me just make that very clear, right? If Nate hadn't stepped up and taken the screen and driven like this, it doesn't matter, right? You don't have to drive as fast as Nate. Like I said, right? It doesn't matter. But if someone didn't pick up the screen and drive, we would not have had a good class today.
Cool.
So yeah.
I have a quick question.
Agreed.
It's about the participation.
Yeah.
So I can get to work on it. So what do I have to put in? Could be anything.
What do you mean?
What should I put in the discussions? The Reddit discussions for participation grade.
Yeah, so on Reddit, you look for questions that other people ask, and then give them helpful answers that will be encouraging to them also, right? Sometimes you can also ask questions. Yeah, in fact, you can ask a question and still get participation points if it's not just a question like, hey, what's the answer, right? So if you say, I wanted to do this, I tried this, and why is it not doing it that way, right? So you give some food for thought to other people. That's participation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Great. Yeah, just go and participate.
Maybe I'll look in the. Do I go to the level blue questioning?
Yeah.
Level blue questing.
You can contribute in any of those, but it'll be weighted towards the color that you're enrolled in, right? So 2B people will contribute.
Oh, I think it's level red. Now I get it, right?
Level blue for you guys. Yeah.
So I'm just wondering what Reddit.
Chad, Chad, is this Chad?
Yeah.
Chad,
which
so
is the
it looks like it's week 3 and you have not been on Reddit at all so far. Yes?
Yeah.
Right. So that was a really bad idea. Because you had a big risk there. You could have just gotten a B+, even though you had done everything by the book. So you got.
I actually was planning to do it at some point.
Yeah, no, right. Don't put off things in C++, right? Don't put off things in CS2A. That's what I said. People, it will look like, oh, it's just hello world, so I can come back to this after I do my English essay and math homework. Yeah, it's very misleading. Don't put it off. You have to do it. Get on Reddit, help other people, and help yourself also. Yeah.
Cool. I think I've seen everyone on the blue, so I think that's where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, blue is where you need to be. And starting from next quarter, CS2B and CS2C, I'm also awarding cash prizes, right? So I for my, is it 2B or 2C? One of those quests. Multiple quests actually. Yeah, I think there's a timing right now on how fast a program can run, and I have a contest going right now saying I'll pay $250 at the end of the quarter to someone who can post a time better than the currently best time posted, right? And last quarter, I think a few students actually won money by winning a contest like that. And if you can think of a nice little contest I can post even for CS2A in blue, I'm happy to do that, right? At the end of the quarter, I'll give out some cash prizes if you guys want, right? But it's got to be a decent contest. Take a look at some of the contests that I've posted in 2B and 2C, and if you can think of a similar contest for 2A, I'm happy to do that, right? And I'll give out these prizes. It has to be PayPal or something easy, but I'm happy to do that. But keep the excitement level up. You got to be programming, and don't put it off, and you'll be fine. All right, is that good?
Yeah, thanks.
All right, I think it's 10 o'clock, and I'm surprised that you guys are still sticking around, because I know that math class has already started.
Yeah.
Zach starts his class at 10 a.m. sharp.
Do you happen to have time for a minute long question or something like that?
Yeah, sure. You can hang around. I mean, those who want to go can go.
Yeah. I was wondering about formatting a string. So to be blunt, I'm trying to fix up my Quest 4 code, and I was thinking I found a place where I want to set the precision, and I don't think I'm.
Is this Nate?
This is Peter.
Peter. Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, Peter. Formatting the output for Quest 4. Just click on the flare, right? I think every quarter there's been so much discussion about just the formatting that there must be 100 posts just about the formatting. And I'm pretty sure someone has answered your question exactly. If not, just ask it and write it again, and I'll be happy to answer.
I mean, I've been looking around. The only thing is I try and set precision word for word, and it's saying what's the exact error? Function set precision could not be resolved. and I'm not.
Oh, I see. Oh, it doesn't know. It doesn't know. Have you got hash include IO manipulation at the top? Hash include IO manip?
IO manipulation.
IO manip. Yeah, I think that's. Look at
That's
this
probably
part.
what I'm missing.
What that? Yeah, the one that Nate has. If you put that line at the top, I think you'll be fine.
Okay, let me.
Oh, yeah, you're not.
IO man IP. Got you.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I think
All
that's
right.
it then.
I'll see you later, and I'm going to actually find a question on Reddit right now.
All right. Okay. Well, don't post things for the sake of posting. Okay. Then those posts will get deleted, and it's just noise. Just find something that you really want to post about. Okay. Either
maybe
offering real help
to
someone or asking a real question.
So I can post about that, and that could get me participation. Just find anything I like to post about.
No. It has to be related, and it has to be relevant to other students. And it can't
That's
be.
what I meant. I mean, related to computer science.
No. You can't post, oh, here's a really cool
Thank
computer
you.
science fact, or here's a cool website I found, a demo. No, those things will get deleted. You can find them all over the net, right? Because anyone who wants to find them, just go to Google and they can find a much better selection. So it has to be about quests or something to do with computer science that's also related to quests and that can help other students. Yeah, we shouldn't turn this into another Stack Overflow.
Yeah. I'm pretty new to Reddit, so yeah.
Reddit, it's just a discussion forum, just like Canvas.
Good to know. Thanks.
Awesome. I'll see you guys.
I'll be thinking about what I'm going to say on my help. Maybe I can help someone with my advice.
But make sure it is yeah,
on topic.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. My plan is to make it on topic, and maybe it'll be about quests. I might put up some hints, right?
Yeah, as long as you're not too much hints, but yeah, that's fine. Yeah, great, good. Yeah, I think I look forward to seeing these posts. All right.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you look forward to seeing my post, my first one.
Thank you for attending class today, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.